everybody, Corky in the Gym Small Business Spotlight. I am Corky, here with the owner of Little Camille's by the Green, Michigan Meadows Golf Course, and soon to be former owner of Camille's Cantina over in New Baltimore. I am with Mark Miller. Mark, how are you today, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me today.
Great seeing you this morning. Great you taking your time out to sit with me here. I just wanted to talk to you. On the show, I've been trying to get small businesses out there, and we run a lot of shows here with the comedy. It's monthly now, and now that you're focusing a lot of your attention here, I wanted to come out to the golf course, get some pictures here, and just pick your brain a little bit on what's going on. But let's start back at the beginning. I've heard a lot of things. You were at Burning Tree Golf Course. I've heard that story, and then you started with your own catering company. Tell me about the catering company. When did that start? How did you get into it? And tell me.
All right. 2002. Way back in the day, I was working other places, Burning Tree Country Club, and working restaurants and catering and things. I always wanted my own business, always looking. And one day, I started my own catering company, working out of a UAW hall, 17 Mountain. Local 228, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. And then eventually found a building in Mount Clemens, started a company called Culinary Expressions Catering with a good friend of mine, Colleen Sarah. And we started out just doing catering. Eventually, she bowed out, I took over the company, and I just kept going and pushing. And one-man show at the start. You start with nothing. We didn't have no investment. I found a building. I took everything out of my house to buy this building. Then you have a housing crash in 2006. So now the equity in my house that I pulled out, and now my house is worthless. But you dig through it. You keep moving. You get out there. You meet people, and you build the business. Catering, I've done catering all my life since 14 years of age. It's kind of, nobody in my family's been in the food hospitality business. They were in the concrete business and the general blue collar worker business. I figured that's where I was going to end up. And I guess...
So when you say general blue collar business, you're talking they were working in shops.
Trades, yes.
Trades,
things like that. Great businesses, great things. Working with your hand, which I love to do, which is the food business. You're working with your hand, you're creating. You're just not in that, you're in a whole different environment. The hospitality business is a whole different world.
Food's a lot better with the taste testing when you try to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Your environment smells a lot better than a plumber.
Yeah, amen to that.
But I had great family support around me. A lot of friends and family helping me push forward and being successful, and working every day, working hard, trying to do what's right for the customer, and that's always been do what's right for the customer. Never worried about making money for myself. I'm worried about making sure the customer's taken care of. The money making for myself will take care of itself. As long as you're budgeting yourself properly, as long as you're charging properly, you're doing the work, you'll be successful.
And how long were you in Mount Clemens for?
Mount Clemens, I was there. I bought the building in 2002, and I sold it in, I want to say, 15.
Then you went up to Camille's by the Bay, right? You moved into Baltimore
yes,
after that?
in Baltimore, Little Camille's by the Bay in 2011. So I had both locations at that time. And then we bought the golf course in the middle of the pandemic, 2020. Crazy thing there. And
now, what took you to New Baltimore? You were already in Mount Clemens. You've been there 13 years at that point. You said 11 you bought it. So you've been there 9 years. You've been there in Mount Clemens almost a decade. Was it just luck of the draw? Did something just open up for you, and you looked at the wife and you said, "Hey, we got to get that spot."
You're always looking to expand. With the catering, I like catering a lot, but there's nice to have a restaurant so you have daily cash flow. And then you can hire employees. Catering, you're almost a 1-2 man operation. So unless you can get a real large growth of business, it's hard to hire people and pay them enough so they can survive and they can live in the world too. Because as we wanted to expand, and then we looked at we opened the pizzeria with the catering location in Mount Clemens. And we were doing a carry-out pizzeria, and I said, you know what, this pizza needs to be in a restaurant. And so then I kind of got nudged into the restaurant. So
Now,
then
is that why you
looking-
ultimately closed Mount Clemens, was because you were putting the pizza into the restaurant?
Yep. Because we just moved. We still did catering, but then we started doing that out of New Baltimore. And I used to run. I was a chef at the Green Street Tavern in New Baltimore back in the '90s. So I always knew I liked the area. And I said the area, it'd be a great area to pop in. I lived in Chesterfield, so we looked at that in the area. Back then, Larry Smith was the mayor of New Baltimore, and a friend of mine, I was doing a lot of work for him out of the FOP Hall on 24 Baker area. And he was always saying, come into Baltimore. And we started looking, we found this location, we took over, it was called the Slippery Rock, which was just a little bar restaurant. And we took off right off the bat. We did great right from opening. The whole community came in and welcomed us in. We worked hard. We did so much stuff around with all the different people in town, trying to promote the town and build it up. It was us, Town Pump, and the Wine House at the time.
Because when you moved into New Baltimore, there wasn't a lot.
The whole street was empty.
And I know, I had uncle and aunt on my stepdad's side lived down the street from downtown New Baltimore, maybe only 2 blocks. And I remember what that was. And it, for lack of a better term, and God bless them because they've done a lot over there, but it was a ghost town for a while.
Oh, yes.
It was bad. People forgot all
People
about
looked at me and said,
Baltimore.
what are you going down there for? I said, trust me, it's going to be fine. And we worked hard to bring in more business, bring in more. You know, I had Matt Cipriano, a friend of mine, owns IDI Window and Door, I think it's IDI. Great guy, since passed from cancer. But he goes, what do you think about opening up a restaurant across the street from me? I said, that'd be great. He goes, why do you want a restaurant? I mean, you want competition? I said, no, that's competition's not. It'd be great to have more stuff down here, give people more options, keep them in New Baltimore and not traveling somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And he eventually opened up the place, which is now Finn's. And, you know, there is 8 restaurants in New Baltimore now. It's a great thing. Things are growing, and I figured I'd be there forever. But then life directs you where you're going to go.
Well, life gives you changes because you were Little Camille's by the Bay from 2011 to 22.
Yep.
So 11 years. I remember at the Power Hour last month when you had made the decision, I would think it was the beginning of October or late September, we were at the Chamber of Commerce Power Hour. And you and Arlene brought out the banner and made the announcement that, hey, we're changing to the cantina. You were down less than a week and had that flipped over and ready. Because you were talking, oh, we'll be open maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And you were being kind about it because it was what, less than a week you guys were back open. Okay, so you were in New Baltimore, Little Camille's by the Bay, 2011 to 22.
Yep.
Then last year, it was what, late part of September, or right, that you came out and you had the banner and made the announcement, hey, we're changing to Camille's Cantina.
We got 8 restaurants in town now, and a lot doing the same menus. So it's like, you know what, let's change up.
In Baltimore.
And you know, everybody's always talking about, you know, where's the Mexican restaurant? Where's the Mexican restaurant? So I was like, you know what? We had a lot of Mexican on our regular menu anyways. 40% of our business was Mexican, so let's just go full cantina. And we did that. We flipped it over, and it was going good, going strong. It was a big transition for all my staff. You know, a lot of big learning curve, but they tightened up the recipes. They started really creating a really nice environment. And the food's been great, and things have been moving great. And then we had a knock on the door.
And then somebody came knocking, And then now you decided to drop it, what was it, right after the first of the year, you decided to drop the news that Camille's Cantina is going bye-bye, you're selling it. A new place is moving in there, it's gonna be a barcade, they're gonna have all sorts of arcade games, alcohol, food, from what I understand, you're gonna have all the good stuff.
Gonna be a great fit for downtown.
So now, you had mentioned it earlier, in the pandemic, you bought the golf course here, it's Michigan Meadows, we're in Casco. As far as the eye can see today, all you can see is beautiful white snow. I say that with the utmost sarcasm. No, it is a beautiful,
I love the snow.
It is a beautiful shot. It's a beautiful shot.
If we could get enough consistent snow, we could be cross-country skiing right now.
Hey, get them out there with like the tennis rackets on their feet. So, going on 4 years now that you've had the golf course, right?
Yes, we're going into our 4th season.
Going into the 4th season. And you've done a lot. I know the Ginge, who is my co-host on the show here, him and his dad come here. They play here at least once a season with his cousins and stuff. And he said that you've done some things over the course of the last couple of years.
There's been
I've had a lot of people that have talked about it. That when we had the coffee connection here a few months ago, we got to go out there on the golf course. Shout out Keith Stonehouse for making sure we came in first and even beat you. But you know, you heard it through the guys that may not have come here because I'm not a golfer. I told you. I'm a putt guy. I'm a let's go to the driving range. I'm not going out there. I'm the guy that sits at hole 1 and roasts you when you tee off. That's who I am at the golf course. We are available for benefits and fundraising. But a lot of the guys have said good things because before you got it, I heard this place, for lack of a better term, was a real shithole for a while. A lot of people
it was run down. There was
didn't
no
come
money.
and play here anymore.
Yes.
There was no money that was getting pumped into here. Nothing like that. So overtaking. First off, was it hard when you talked to Camille and said, "Honey, I want to go buy a golf course"? Did she look at you crooked eyed? How did that? Because it couldn't have been easy trying to what you. Did you mull it over a couple days before you went up and said, "Honey, I want to buy it"? Like how did that? Because that had to be no easy conversation at first.
Well, think of this. We're in September of 2020. Okay, everything is shut down. We're in a pandemic, and that's your backdrop. And somebody came up to us and said, "Hey, we want to dump this property. We've got a really good deal. Are you interested?" We've told several other people. And we looked at this property a year prior, so we knew the property. And the price that they wanted for it, we couldn't say no. And we didn't have days to look at it. We had hours to figure this out. So I got a call at noon about the property. We made a deal by 3 that afternoon.
So there was no mulling this over and working up the courage to go talk to Camille.
I got off the phone. I called some close family together, and I made a few other phone calls because one is I said, "Okay, what's the problem? Where's and we looked at that. We did it for about 3 hours and called them back and made a deal."
What were, if you had to pick, like, and this isn't trying to be negative about the previous owners or anything. This is just getting people to realize what it really takes to take over a business. What were your 3 biggest issues when you first took over the golf course here? Was it the course itself? Was it the condition that it was left in? Was it the restaurant here? What were your biggest issues around it?
Well, the course itself, it was just needed some love. Okay, it was still, the bones of it were in good shape, but it needed an influx of money and cash to bring it back. Okay, and that's not that difficult. Everything else has been it's a dated building. So then you're looking at, just upgrading some things and doing some different things, which we don't have a ton of money to put into it off the bat, but we can do it over time. So we probably already put $500,000 into this venture with new golf carts. We bought about 40 trainloads of crushed concrete for our paths out on the course.
You got that nice stage that you just built out
We
there.
built
not
a
too long
stage out
ago.
here. We updated the building outside and dressed it up, and new carpeting, chairs, and things like that. And we still got a lot more things that we're doing, and we're just doing it and pacing ourselves and keeping ourselves in a debt-free environment. So we're not just in a struggle sport where we have to jack prices up or whatever, try and stay within the economy and try to keep things affordable.
And you keep your club public here. It's
We are
not a private club.
Correct, we're a public club. Everybody can come in and enjoy, and more and more people are starting to identify, say, yes, the courses, the weeds are out of the fairways, the cart paths are passable again. The
You don't
greens
feel
are in
like
good
you're hitting a
shape.
pothole on Gratiot or Hall
Right.
Road if you're going down the cart path.
This
So-
year, we're looking at putting sand traps back in. That's a big thing. We wanted to get it to last year, but we had an issue with, in 22, remember that big drought, hot in 22? Well, that identified a whole irrigation system that there was a lot of sprinklers that weren't working. So there's a lot of sprinkler heads that we had to replace. And we got a good education on that because, the sprinklers you got in your, there's nothing like at a golf course.
No.
The sprinklers are,
5 times the size.
and the cost of each one of those sprinklers, if you bought them brand new, okay, are $500. Okay, and you've got, I don't know, 600 on a golf course?
That's wild.
It's just, so that was crazy, but we found, we repaired or replaced over 200 sprinkler heads in 2022.
That's a lot of damn sprinkler
A
heads.
lot of sprinkler heads.
So we had mentioned earlier, you said you were at Burning Tree Golf Course years ago, and a little bit ago when this opportunity was presented to you, you said that you picked up the phone, you called some close friends, you called close family. Were any of those people from your days back there at Burning Tree? Because, I mean, at this point, you were at Burning Tree, you were running the kitchen and everything, you're in there, you're not really learning anything about the golf course. Or
I was food and
anything.
beverage director out there.
So, were any of the people from out there in your past days, any of the people that you called up and were like, I got this, in front of me, but...
No, I didn't call any of them. I did after the fact, after we purchased and for some different things. The biggest golden thing that we did was we retained the maintenance crew that was here, the greenskeepers that were here. And there was a handful.
So you kept who was familiar with everything
Correct.
until you were able to... And all those guys are still here now?
Absolutely, absolutely. They're like gold because you're looking at, here's as rough as shape that the course was in. It was cut, the greens were in good shape. They moved sprinklers to make sure they kept things. They worked with what they had.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a budget of, say, $2,000 to do what they needed to do, where the budget should have been $40,000. Okay? So now they're getting the tools they need, they're getting the fertilizer, getting the weed killer, they're getting the items they need to bring the course back. So now, if you can work with nothing, just imagine what you can do if you can work with something.
Right.
And these guys
And I see them out there working all the time. Every time we pull up, I always see the guys out there, whether they're taking care of the greens in the summer and fall when I'm pulled up, or I mean, one of the guys just came in and asked you about rock salt or something, didn't he, a little bit ago? You did. Tell him where it was.
Yes, and well, they never got it. They never, they weren't allowed to buy it. You know what I mean? It's like, that was a luxury back then. Now we need it, we get it. And
That's the way it should be.
it's the way it should be, and it takes time,
Okay, so we were talking about the upgrades that you've done around here. All the sprinkler heads, you've done the inside here, you've got the carpeting. I mean, a lot of this is just wonderful in here. You built this stage out there that looks amazing. Which
great outside patio.
the patio is fired too. What other... Because, you have events here all the time. I talked about it. We do our monthly comedy shows here. You were kind enough to welcome Knuckleheads in here. We've had a great first 2 shows here. Our next show is actually tomorrow night, Friday, January 12th. Hoping to have this up tomorrow morning. So if you see this tomorrow morning, come out to the show tomorrow night. But you just had a big New Year's Eve bash here, the Flannel Bash. What else can people expect coming up, event-wise, that you're gonna have? And what is it, yes, the golf course is open to the public. Is the event space here open to the public? Like, can we come in, baby showers, wakes, everything like that? Like, what is your ultimate goal with this space?
Our goal with the property is to create an event space and create a community space for people to come together for all kinds of different things. You know, coming up Easter Sunday, we're going to have an Easter brunch. We'll probably do one on Mother's Day as well. We want to incorporate special things. In August, we're going to do a Recover Out Loud event, as we did last year.
We did that last year. We were a part of it, blessed to be a part of it.
We have Richmond High School coming out this Saturday for one of their sports events, I think. We want the community to come in and utilize our space. We can help as much as we can as far as costs and things like that, try to make things affordable for some groups. Other groups, they want to do big events.
Well, because you can make it easy with your own catering, your own kitchen.
You got it all right here.
Forced to come rent the space and then go find food somewhere. You can make it all affordable right here under one roof.
We're looking to get a 40 by 100 tent that we're going to put out, so we have an outdoor space that we can do outdoor events all summer long, from basically May till end of October. So there's going to be a lot of options that we can do to cover, whether it be a golf outing, a wedding, a shower, a birthday,
anniversary parties,
a battle of the bands, battle of the
nice
comics
out there on the stage.
You know, I think a good a March Madness comedy show would be a great thing here.
Yeah, we're going to drop that here in a second.
Like
it's coming up. It's coming up.
So
one other big
event
thing.
space, a big area, nice area, bringing people together. One of the things that I want to do, and I'm going to work on this for February, March, is I want to do a community night. Do a nice little buffet, bring the neighbors in to meet each other, okay? Everybody's talking social media and stuff like that. It would be nice to put that down and come into a room and actually talk face to face with your neighbors and get to know who you are. I'm trying to find a way to grab those people and bring them in an affordable setting and meet and greet, and you know, we do a lot of networking in business. How about some networking in neighbors?
Well, I know you talked about doing like movie nights here too, because we have the connection with Pops Eats on the Streets and Pops Entertainment. We've talked about doing movie nights out here for everybody. One big thing I did want to point out that you have in the venue that not a lot of venues have, and it really is, lack of a better term, it's a pain in the ass to a lot of people. Whether it's an anniversary, a baby shower, a wedding, being an officiant myself, it's a pain if I got to bring out my own speaker. You do have in-house speakers here, so if people come in for an anniversary and they want to make an announcement, let's say it's I just seen somebody had a 70th anniversary, which God bless them, that doesn't happen often these days. But if Grandmandy and Grandpappy are very soft-spoken, they have an indoor speaker system to be able to use it.
Yes, we have a PA system.
And short of needing a DJ, people are free to use that. I know we use it on the comedy shows. So if I'm using it on the comedy shows, you guys know it's got to be a good sounding system, because I'm not going to let my show sound horrible. We did that years ago.
We'd like to, our stage outside, we'd like to get some speakers set up out there to where we can find some entertainment, just plug into our system and play. That would, one, help the performers, because they don't have to lug. The worst part of all your performers and bands
is lugging the equipment.
Lugging the equipment.
Yep.
You know,
preach on.
It's like that fee that you pay for them is not for them to sing.
Mm-hmm.
It's for them to load their car up and haul it over to your place and then unload it at the end.
You're right. People don't understand that. It's not just we walk in and plug in and that's it. No, we have to load it, we have to unload it, and then we have to load it back up, and then unload it again.
Oh, yes.
There's drive time, there's setup, there's sound checks, there's, you know, we got to do everything. Even with your house system, I come in early every show day. I'll be here early tomorrow, early afternoon, to put my banner up, and then me and you always do a sound check.
Right.
We know it works, but we do it just to make sure, because
Correct.
you know what
You gotta do it every time.
And then you've already alluded to it, but let's talk, real quick before we allude to what's coming up in March. What's the biggest project you have this summer that you're excited for? Like, what's the next big thing on Mark's checklist that you want to do here at the course? And let's actually do two, just because I think it's fun. What's the next thing for the clubhouse here, and what's the next thing for the course itself?
Well,
we were talking sand traps.
Our sand traps is a big thing. Finish ups, we have a couple cart paths to finish up. And also, we're looking to rearrange our cart drop area to where we're looking to set up an area where you can pull up, take your bag out of put it right into the back of a cart, park real close, and then take your cart to go check in and then go golf. So there's very short distance of carrying your bag.
Kind of like, what is it, Cherry Hill or Cherry Creek over there? I think they have it. It's almost like a drop-off service. You pull up,
okay,
pull it off, get it out of your car, throw it out of the cart, you park, and then drive.
That's something that in the spring we'll be working on diligently.
That's always nice. People don't like lugging them big-ass golf bags all the time.
And then the 40 by 100 tent area, that's another big area, because with that, we're going to have to pour a concrete slab for a base. And I'm debating on two different areas where I want to put it. So once I get the tent in, we're going to put it up, see how we like it, move it, a couple of things. So it's not easy moving a 40 by 100 tent.
No.
But to make it right and how it all works, we're gonna do that and make sure that we know where we want to put it, because we'll do that, and maybe eventually we'll actually build a salad structure
that offers outdoor events.
Correct.
Outdoor events.
Outdoor
People
events.
want the outdoor wedding reception, they can do that.
And then
if something happens, God forbid, you were talking about the drought of 22. I got married July of 22. I remember it because my wedding date was one where they were like, it can rain on all summer. Seriously, this is where we're putting it. Thank God we were at Zuccaro's, but our ceremony was in their chapel outside.
Yep.
So even if the way they were talking, with the way the wind was that day, oh man, if it would have rained, it would have been bad.
Yep.
So at least that gives people the option.
Whenever you have an outdoor event, you gotta plan. You gotta have alternate
You gotta
plans.
be able to have a backup in case
Correct.
you need to pull them in.
Yep.
Well, I like what you're having. I like what you got coming up. I like that I hear it. Again, I'm not a golfer. I've told you that from the get-go. You put the putt course out there, man. I'm out there.
We've talked about that too. We've got a spot for that. That's down the road.
Okay. How far down the road? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But I don't know. You never know.
Right. The way you work, it could be this summer. You might get bored without the canteen.
It's like the big guy, and it's the Lord, not the guy in Washington.
I was thinking Santa, but
he guides us where we're going to go. He throws us doors, and it's up to us to open those doors and look at them. And I'm always opening doors. I'm always looking.
you don't even open the door, Mark. You don't even knock. You know nothing. You walk up and you boot that motherfucker right in and say, "I'm here."
What's
and I like
inside?
that though. I appreciate that because that's the way that you find things anymore. People don't understand these days. For anything, you don't get everything handed to you.
Nothing gets
You got to go out and you got to turn over stones. You got to look for everything you can possibly get.
Absolutely.
That's why. And God bless you for letting me do this, because I have a lot of crazy ideas. People don't always go with my crazy ideas. People don't always understand it. And
you don't know.
Well, I don't even think you understood it yesterday until we finally sat down and I told you, okay, here's my breakdown. Here's how we're working this show.
Right.
You know what I mean? And once you got it, you're like, okay, I'm in. Like, this ain't gonna be a problem. We can make it happen, Captain. A lot of people that are Knuckleheads Comedy followers and fans know that back in 2020, we did the Comedy Madness show. It was a bracket-style competition show because it was something I'd never seen people do before. I've seen a lot of competition shows out there, but nothing that really made a comic work through the night. it wasn't even just that. I thought it was fun because at least with the comics throughout the night, it gives you crowd work to use too. But what we're doing, I'm bringing Comedy Madness back. We did it in 2020. We did it in 2021. A lot of people love the show. A lot of people have asked me if I'm going to be bringing it back, and I finally decided, you know what? Mark gives me this venue out here, and if he's willing to go with my crazy, awesome. If not, hey, we're still going to have a comedy night, but Comedy Madness is coming back. It's 8 comics, 3 rounds, 1 winner. I'll drop a couple of the names right here on the show just so you guys can get an idea, but I will say that I have David Steves coming over from the west side of the state, and Simply Chanel is also in the bracket. And I'll drop 2 more names live this Sunday on the Corky Gin Show, so make sure you tune in for that live at 5. I'll have you 2 more bracket names. But you can get your tickets for the show, khcomedy.ticketleague.com. And we're going to have some local celebrity guest judges, and by local celebrity, I don't mean your local mayor. I don't mean your fire captain. No disrespect to any of y'all. I'm talking like I'm reaching out to people from Michigan basketball's past. I'm trying to get them to come out and be our guest judges. We're going to have our big raffle baskets as we always do. We're going to have our 50-50 raffles. I will let you know one of the judges is Macho Claus from the Macho Corps, and that's because all the money from the raffles I'm donating to the Macho Corps. This past winter they took care of 400 individual kids, or 800 individual kids, 400 families, between 5 states here in the U.S. and 4 countries abroad.
Wow.
So I got no problem, and you know, he took care of, I got family and a couple of friends that needed help this year, and I called them up. 2 of them were very late in the season.
So you mentioned celebrity judges.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have any qualifications to judge a comic show?
Well, I mean, if things are funny, if you're funny, these judges are going to know. That's why I brought in these people, because does anybody really have any qualifications to judge a comedy show? No. If the people are funny, they're funny, right? You look at America's Got Talent. Somebody like Howie Mandel, who's been doing comedy for 40 years, 50 years, that man has the clout to be able to say, okay, that's funny. I don't got $100,000 to bring in Howie Mandel. But with, you know, I look at this as, okay, I'm going to have parameters for the judges. Like, I'm going to have them listening and looking at things, you know what I mean? And then it's just based off what's funny, you know?
And the crowd's going to help with that. I mean, if you got the crowd in stitches.
If you got the crowd going, the judges are going to know. Even if that judge, and here's the biggest thing, the guest judges that I'm talking with, one thing that I'm telling them is, just remember, the comics may not be funny to you personally, but the other 170 plus people that are going to be in the room, they may be dying laughing themselves.
So you got comics against each other. Is there going to be physical violence, maybe?
I can't promise not. I mean, never seen physical violence. The worst thing we've ever had at a Knuckleheads comedy show was somebody threw pizza at one of my comics on stage. Yeah, they threw a slice of pizza at, damn, who did they throw that? I don't remember I want to say Nick Ford, maybe. If I call Justin DeVozo, he would know who got the pizza thrown at him, because it was there the next week when we went back, so we picked up the slice of pizza.
So I think between the comics, there should be some pretty good competition in between them.
The competition that's coming up between these comics, I mean, I said Simply Chanel's on the show. Anybody that knows, she's been on TBS, she's been on BET, she's been on HBO, Comedy Central, she's traveled the world doing this. You don't do them things without being good at your craft and mastering your craft. I mean, these comics they're coming out. We got a minimum $500 grand prize right now. Getting that, I'm talking to some people that are, you know, the rumblings are going through the community now about this show, so I'm starting to get phone calls, I'm still making calls, and a lot's got to happen for this.
So can you sponsor something in the show if somebody out there wanted to sponsor something in the show?
We absolutely have it sponsored. We have, we're bringing the championship belt back. So you got side plates on the championship belt. And then if you just want to be able to sponsor, you know, some of the grand prize, if you want to be able to sponsor the guest judges that night, if you want to, you know, we're going to take care of you with table signage. We'll have event banners here. We have commercials that are going to be up on all the TVs in here. A lot of different things. So if people are wanting and willing to sponsor an event like this is the event that is going to put Knuckleheads back to where we were before all the COVID. Like I told you last year, that was the first real year that I felt we were back to normal and a little bit over. This is going to be the one to really put us back over the top where I want us to be. And I mean, even the host, you heard me talking to one of the guys yesterday. He said, I'm not really with the competition, but I'd be down with hosting. And you seen that even I got excited over who the host was going to be that day. So we're going to have a lot of fun with the show. You're still going to have the buffet dinner here to be able to come take part in that. We're going to have photo ops with the guest judges, maybe $5 a piece. All that money is going to be donated to the Macho Corps as well. You know, we try to do something for our community.
Oh, it's going to be fun. As we talk about it, and we talked about it the other day, there's so much fun stuff that can happen, and who knows what may happen. You know, at a comedy show, who knows what can get.
And what people don't understand is people that have been to Knucklehead shows, you've seen some of these comics that are in the bracket. But the big thing is, we all have an off day or an off night. I don't care if you're a bookkeeper. I don't care if you run a golf course at a Mexican restaurant, you run comedy shows, or you're an officiant. It doesn't. We all have bad. I feel real bad for calling out the bookkeepers. Like, we're here. I'm sorry to the bookkeepers. I feel bad for calling them out like that. The used car salesmen. There we go. But we all have off days. So you never know. Like I said with Chanel, and I don't mean to burn bread on her, and I'm knocking on wood that it doesn't happen to her, but she could have an off. And she's one of the funniest people I've seen on stage in Detroit comedy or in the Midwest, period. We all have an off day. So those upsets can come too.
So this will be a blind draw, and that's not like a seeded thing.
And that's what I was just going to say. It's going to be a seeded thing. We're going to have the 1 through 8, but it's going to be a blind draw the morning of the show.
So number one seed is a draw, not really.
We're going to draw them right out of my top hat. I like my top hat. So I'll have all 8 comics' names in there, and as I draw them out, you'll go into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to 8, and that's where we'll go. So you might see, you know, looking at the lineup, if you followed Knuckleheads before, or, you know, before we got together, I know you used to run shows over at Little Camille's by the Bay with Justin Pettick, one of my very good friends. He was the flower guy at my wedding last year, or a year and a half ago now. But, you know, if you've seen some of these comics before, and then all of a sudden you see that Facebook Live video Saturday morning, and you go, oh my God, those two are about to go at it in the first round. Like, this is something I got to come see. Because these comics aren't just coming in. We're very competitive people. This isn't, you know, just because we get on a stage doesn't mean we're not competitive.
Is it 2 comics up on stage together, one goes the other, or are they one and then they come in?
No, one and then the other. So what we'll do is I will give the higher seed that day, or you know what? I'm deciding this right now. We're going to do a coin flip. Okay. So I'll bring the 2 comics together in the first, and we'll do a coin flip. Whoever wins the coin flip, you can choose to go first or second.
See, if you put them up there together, there could be some.
We'll have the 1-8 and yeah. You gonna put that on your insurance claim, man? You got a good insurance here on the golf course, I'm sure. You want to put that on your. He's talking about.
I'm looking forward. This is gonna be a good night.
Talking about new golf carts. I'm gonna have a golf cart after that night. Don't worry. We gonna go talk to Geico or whoever you got. The caveman's back with Geico now, and. But no, it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm happy to. I'm excited to bring back Comedy Madness. It was one of my favorite shows that I did because it wasn't something that you seen out there all the time from everybody. There's a show that Mike Ball runs. It's called the Comedy Rumble, and I love it. I've participated in it. It's 90 seconds with 30 comics, and you know you battle it out that way. But this is something that you don't see, you know, often, and. I hold it in March when I do it because, well, I ripped off NCAA basketball. I don't admit that was a joke. But I did.
I don't see it. I think it's a great original idea.
Great original idea. About as original as a library book, right? No, it's going to be a fun night. Again, go get your tickets, khcomedy.ticketleap.com. If you want to sponsor anything with the show, if you'd like to donate anything for the raffle baskets, you can always get a hold of myself at laughing@khcomedy.com, or come out to the golf course. Ask for Mark. Drop something off here at the golf course. He'll call me. He'll let me know if you're out this way. If you're not out this way, get a hold of me through Facebook, email. If you got my number, call me. If you don't have my number, don't try to get it. There's a reason you don't have it. Don't call me. I don't need your voicemails. I barely check them as it is. No, but we're going to have a lot of fun here. I'm excited to see you, and I told you this, and I hope I didn't offend you yesterday when I said this to you, that I see how much you work you were wanting to get done here at the golf course. And I mean, me and you have known each other about a year now. You're coming up close to it. But I heard everything and seen what you were talking about and seen what you were doing. The first time I got to come out here was when you opened up the outdoor bar here. But I just looked at you and I felt it. I'm like, oh, he's wearing himself so thin. So from me to you, I hope with you selling the cantina and being able to put all your focus here, I hope that you get to turn this place into what it, not just what you want it to be, but what it should be for not only the golfers, but the community. You got a lot of different things that you're trying to do here versus a lot of these other golf courses out here, which I've noticed some of these private courses locally here are changing to public now. I've noticed that. Burning Tree being one of them. I've seen that. But you're doing more out here and welcoming more people into this than they are. So, I mean, that's a huge thing, especially in the community. I hope they all come out and support it. You know, I come out and support it. I try to be here. One big event that I want to give a shout out that you did, aside even from New Year's and all that, was your Recover Out Loud. For everybody that's dealing with sobriety, even fighting to stay sober. I mean, this was an event that you could come and you could be proud of who you are. You could be proud of your sobriety. You didn't have to hide it. You didn't have to anything. And you've seen everybody from all different aspects of life. I mean, from tattooed and pierced head to toe, all the way to people in business suits. I'm not going to sell anybody out, but you've seen every aspect of life here. And that was a great event. I was very happy to be a part of it.
And Recover Out Loud it's not about recovery of just of alcohol and drugs. I mean, it's about recovery of life itself.
It's a reset.
It's a reset. It's a time for everybody, because we all have anger issues or this issue or that issue. It's a time to come and set peace with yourself and set yourself and come enjoy all the people that's around you, because everybody that wants to create great things should have the opportunity to do that. And just as in life itself, things aren't given to you.
Mm-hmm. You gotta go turn over those stones we were talking about.
If you don't get out there and take care of yourself and make good decisions, bad shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, Recover Out Loud is this will be our second one now. It's something that my focus of Recover Out Loud is to remind people to get out there, work hard, make smart decisions, make the right decisions. And the more right decisions we make, the more successful and healthy you will be in anything you do. Mm-hmm. And that's all we can ask for in anybody. And we all need to get out to the public and really work hard in our trades, in our job, in our life, in our family, in our kids, in our homes. That stuff's not given to you. You have to get out there and earn it and work at it and work at it at every level. It doesn't change.
That's right. Damn right. You got to go out here. You got to put in the work for anything in this life. And if you got something handed to you, well, you're just not going to understand the work ethic.
You got a little bonus. You got a little bonus. It may have been handed to you, but you're still going to have to work hard to keep it.
I was just about to say it. I could hand you anything. I could hand you Disney, and you still got to bust your ass to keep it going. Because if you don't know what you're doing,
it's going to fall apart.
There go your billions. Mark, I want to thank you for coming on with us. Make sure you come out, you check out Michigan Meadows, Little Camille's by the Green in Casco here. Again, we run comedy here on a monthly basis. Our next 3 shows, I'll tell you, is tomorrow night, Friday, January 12th. If this is up tomorrow morning, make sure you come out and see us. Gonna have the dinner buffet, shows at 7:30, doors at 6:30. Next show after that is gonna be February 24th. So make sure you come out for that show at 7 p.m. Just because how dark it is in February, man. We gotta push it up a little bit. So 7 p.m. on February 24th, doors at 6 p.m. And then, of course, March 23rd, Comedy Madness returns, and we're bringing it out here to Camille's. That's an 8 p.m. show because that's right after the first day.
So
of
that's
spring.
Madness in March.
It is March Madness, yeah.
Oh, wait, you can't say March.
Oh, no, I can't.
Madness in March.
Madness in March. Yeah. But you can get tickets for all those at khcomedy.ticketleap.com. Anything you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Happy 2024. Get out there. Be nice to your neighbors. Be nice to everybody. I've been pushing the old do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's the tagline for 24. Let's get back to being nice to people.
Well, we got one way that we always end the show, but I can't do Aaron or the Ginger's line because he's not here. So I'm going to do mine. I'm going to tell you, don't be a piece of shit. Just go out there today, tomorrow, and every day. Leave the world a little better than you found it. And always remember, in the end, we will always love you more. Y'all be safe. Have a great day. Come out here. Check out Little Camille's by the Bay. And hell, come out for comedy night. Make sure you laugh out loud with the best comedy in town. We'll see y'all later. We love you more.